Yo, it's your homeboy Kiiro in the building. Welcome to episode 96 of One Piece Gist. In this episode, we resume our discussion on the Will of D. This is the third installment. If you want to see my original theory, that's all the way back in episode 3. If you want to see the discussion thread where you can see other people's theories, that's in episode 93. In this episode, I'm going to focus mainly on the new information we got in chapter 764. That said, if you have any comments concerning the Will of D in general, please go to episode 93 and leave your comments there. However, if you have a comment concerning what I say in this video, then please feel free to speak your mind and shit. Also, in case you didn't catch it, this is based on chapter 764's information, so if you're not up to date with the manga, you will be spoiled. Now that we've gotten all of that shit out of the way, let's start. There's 3 general points that I got from this chapter, and this video focuses on 2 of them. So I'll start with the first point, which isn't really that important. Which I'm not really going to focus on in this video. It's pretty factual. There's nothing really to talk about. But the other 2 are sort of debatable, and I'm going to speak my mind and give you guys my own sort of perspective on things. So Rocinante, aka Corazon, he lets us know that the elders know about the Will of D, and whenever somebody with Will of D shows up, they groan, they mutter, they gossip among themselves and shit. So they clearly know that they know something about it, and they don't like it. They don't like what they know. However, there's a key piece of information concerning this. These are the elders, and this was in a flashback. So these elders are most likely dead, except maybe the Gorosei. So just bear that in mind. Now, the second point is the people with the Will of D are known to cause storms, quote unquote. This is a saying by these same elders. They say whenever someone with Will of D shows up, they say this person will surely cause another storm. And Law said this when he fought Doflamingo, and I think chapter 728, I'm not quite sure, but it's around then when they fought each other and stuff. He said this, and Doflamingo was not smiling when he said it. Now let's move on to the third and final point, which is that people with the Will of D are considered God's natural enemy. So now let's do a quick recap on the second and third point. So let's assume, first of all, that we're taking these literally. So let's assume this is a literal storm. Now we have seen Monkey D. Dragon and Goldie Roger do stuff to the weather. Now we didn't actually see anything with Goldie Roger, but it was stated as fact that the weather coincidentally changed when he and Shiki were fighting, and things didn't end up well for Shiki and his crew. And if we move forward to the third point, let's take this literally as well. The opposite of God or God's natural enemy, we can consider that like the devil, and devil does start with a D. And Oda has foreshadowed this 3 times. Well, he's foreshadowed God's natural enemy once, and he's foreshadowed the whole devil thing twice. So when Zoro first met Luffy, and Luffy made a deal with Zoro that he'd free him and then he'd join his crew, Zoro said, "You're the son of the devil." That's potential Oda foreshadowing, because Oda did similar foreshadowing with Usopp. It's very casual, very calm. It really doesn't seem like anything serious. Then on Skypiea, Nami said that Luffy is NL's natural enemy, and NL happens to be a god. Luffy happens to be a D. Finally, we have in Marineford, when Sengoku reveals who Ace's father is and who Luffy's father is, Hancock says, "I don't care if you're the son of the devil," and she's referring to Monkey D. Dragon. So if you think that this is literal context, you can take any of those 2 points to sort of add to your theory, because I'm not gonna pretend like my theory is absolute or anything. So that's information for you guys to play around with. And yeah, however, I think it's metaphorical in both cases, and I'll elaborate further. But once again, you guys have that information. If you think it's literal, with the storm thing, we have the weather effects, and with the devil thing, Oda has done some foreshadowing in the past. So to start off my whole metaphor discussion thing, it sort of covers both points, because both points sort of tie in together, and that's why I really sort of see this working. So back in chapter 556, when in Marineford, there's that famous speech made by Doflamingo. Doflamingo says, "Pirates are evil, the Marines are righteous." These terms have always changed throughout the course of history. Kids who have never seen peace and kids who have never seen war have different values. Those who stand at the top will determine what's right and what's wrong. This very place is neutral ground. Justice will prevail, you say, but of course it will. Whoever wins this war becomes justice. Now, let me ask you a question. who won the war of the world century, because I'm pretty sure there was a war, and or at least that's my theory. And the winners of this war became the world government. I remember, there was a nation in the birth century, and these nobles, they joined forces to take them down. And that's why they took away the history, because what they did, whatever they did, must have been horrible or some shit. I don't know what it is they did, but it must be crazy. But in any case, history is written by the victors, and the victors of that war became justice. Now let's think about justice. Justice is supposed to be right and wrong. I'm saying? The opposite of justice is, sort of sinning, committing crimes. That's why, Oda made Sengoku a Buddha, because he's sort of the embodiment of justice. He is the fleet admiral of the Marines. He's the head of the Marines, or at least was. And that's just to sort of reflect his personality, that, he's all about that justice. And since justice is written by the victors are pretty much the pinnacle of justice, because they write, what is law. They make the law. The Tenryubito, they're pretty much like, they're the people who write the Bible. I'm saying? They decide what's a sin, what's not a sin, all that kind of stuff. And, the people who commit the most sins and all that type of shit, people who naturally commit sins, those are, you could consider them the most sinful people. You could compare them to the devil. And so it's also the poetic. What it really means is people with the will of D naturally oppose the world government, the current world government in the One Piece, universe. That's all there really is to it. I don't think the D stands for devil, but there is a nice poetic comparison between right, wrong, good, evil, all that kind of stuff. So they are indeed polar opposites, the D's and the Celestial Dragons. And while the D's tend to be sort of liberal, the Celestial Dragons tend to be very class based. They like this whole royalty thing going on. They like things going their way. But the D's are more like freedom fighters and all that kind of stuff. So I'll just quickly go over some of the D's and what they've done to support my point. We have Dragon, the revolutionary, very obvious one. Revolutionary, he's going against the government. We have Jaguar D. Saul. He had his own sense of justice. And remember, it's not people who naturally oppose justice. It's people who naturally oppose the justice in the One Piece universe, which is the justice of the Tenryubitos. So he was naturally opposed to the shit that they were gonna do. Hara, Jaguar D. Saul. Now, you can say, okay, Garp was a Marine. What did that make him? I think even as a Marine, I still think he had his own sense of justice. I think he simply just wanted to take out the bad guys, because let's face it, a lot of pirates are in fact evil. A lot of pirates are in fact bad. And let's not forget, this man was about to kill Akainu, an admiral. Now, I think that speaks for itself. And of course, there's, our homeboy, Monkey D. Luffy. He's definitely, shaken up everywhere he's gone to, every single arc. He has, quote unquote, caused the storm, wherever he's gone. And time again, he has gone against what has been established as the sort of law of an area, or the sort of rule and tradition of an area. And he follows his own rules, his own laws. And this just happens naturally. He doesn't really give it much thought, because Luffy, just in general, he doesn't give many things much thought. But this just comes very naturally, and that is the will of D. But yeah, this is all theoretical, of course. I think I've said most of the things I want to say, if not everything. Thank you for chilling all the way to the end. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And as always, thank you guys for watching.